Welcome to Tech XP. What more could your inner nerd want than 100 tech facts? The ever-evolving and expanding technology gives us the future we've always wanted. But how did we arrive to this point? Where will it go after that? You may learn interesting nuggets about computers, the internet, gaming devices, and tech behemoths like Google, Apple, and Microsoft with the help of these 100 tech facts. Here are the top 100 unexpected technological facts that you probably didn't know. Without further ado. 1. The Firefox logo isn't a fox. A widespread misconception holds that since the browser is called Firefox, a fox must be included in the logo. Unexpectedly, the adorable animal in the emblem is a red panda. 2. The first Apple logo isn't what you would think. Originally, it featured Sir Isaac Newton sitting beneath a tree, with an apple about to fall on his head. It was designed back in 1976 and featured a phrase around the border that read Newton, a mind forever voyaging through strange seas of thought, alone. 3. Google rents out goats. That's true, Google hires goats to graze on the grass at their Mountain View offices rather than maintain their lawn. 200 goats being led by a border collie named Jen by a herder will be brought. 4. The name for robot has dark origins. If you research the origins of the word robot, you'll find that it derives from the Czech word robota, which means forced labor or work. In a drama written in 1920, the term was first used to describe a fictitious humanoid. 5. The first ever VCR was the size of a piano. The first VCR, video camera recorder, was a piano-sized device that was created in 1956. Way bigger than I would have guessed. 6. Samsung is 38 years and 1 month older than Apple. Samsung was founded as a grocery store on March 1, 1938, by Lee Byung-chul. Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created Apple Computer Incorporated on April 1, 1976. 7. A petabyte is a lot of data. Did you know that 1 petabyte equals 1024 terabytes? To illustrate how large this is, 13.3 years worth of HD TV content could be stored on a 1 PB hard disk. The whole body of human writing from the beginning of recorded history in all languages could fit on a 50 PB hard drive. 8. Domain name registration used to be free. In the early days of the internet, before 1995, registering a domain name was cost-free since nobody knew how big it would become. When a fee was implemented, it was substantial. Typically, 2 years of registration cost $100. 9. Megabytes used to weigh hundreds of pounds. Data that was 5 megabytes in size actually weighed 1 ton. The first computer had a feature resembling a hard drive in 1956. At the time, it represented a significant improvement in storage capacity, although the hard drive's cabinet weighed more than 2,200 pounds and could only store 5 megabytes of data. 10. The radio took 38 years to reach an audience of 50 million. The development of the radio might seem to be a significant event, but it took 38 years for the medium to attain a 50 million person audience. The iPod, on the other hand, reached the same milestone in just 3 years. 11. The first camera needed an incredibly long exposure. The exposure time for the very first photograph, made in 1826, was 8 hours. In 1839, Louis Daguerre, the inventor of that camera, was able to significantly reduce that period to just 15 minutes. 12. Credit card chips have been around for a long time. Credit card chips are seen by many as a recent craze. Nevertheless, chip technology has existed since 1986. France employed it first, and Germany quickly followed. 13. Alexa is always listening to your conversations. You presumably already know this. It's something Siri has always done. To enhance your Alexa experience, Alexa stores the history of your conversations on the cloud. But you have the option to individually or in bulk examine and remove these recordings. 14. People read faster or slower depending on what they read from. When using a computer, you blink less and move more slowly since you are reading from a screen. People read on screens 10% less quickly than they do on paper, on average. Did you know that, when going about their daily lives, people often blink 20 times per minute? However, if you place them in front of a computer, that frequency lowers to just 7 times each minute. 15. GPS is free, for some. GPS is available for free worldwide, but running it costs $2 million each day. These funds were obtained by American taxation. 16. There are Amish computers. For the Amish only, there are computers made specifically without internet, video, or music capabilities. A few more features, but not many more, include word processing, drawing, accountancy, spreadsheets, and other things. 17. Mac computers were named after the Apple. The similarity between Macintosh and the Apple variety known as Macintosh is no coincidence. To avoid confusion with a manufacturer called Macintosh Laboratory, the name was intentionally misspelt. 18. The first computer mouse wasn't made from plastic. Doug Engelbart created the first computer mouse in 1964. It was made of wood back then. It was square-shaped and had a little button in the upper right corner. Because the cord protruding from the back reminded him of the little rodents, he called it a mouse. 19. Which came first, spam mail or spam meat? The canned meat-inspired term spam mail was used. Spam meat was described as awful and being omnipresent and inescapable in a Monty Python comedy. Sounds a lot like the nasty junk mail I receive. Additionally, did you know that, on average, just one reply is received for every 12 million spam emails sent? Is it even worth it at that point? 20. The original Xbox had sound snippets of real space missions. Edited audio clips from real Apollo mission communications were included on the first Xbox. You will soon hear conversational snatches actual Apollo mission chatter if you leave the Xbox on the home screen. 21. The majority of the people plug in their USB ROM. 86% of people attempt to reversally plug in their USB devices. That considerably lessens the guilt I feel about making mistakes repeatedly. 22. Steve Jobs used sleight of hand at the first iPhone presentation. 6 months before the iPhone was scheduled to go on sale, the first iPhone presentation took place. As a result of the phone's unusable bugs at the time, Steve Jobs frequently switched phones behind his desk. 23. The first alarm clock could only ring at one time. Literally only once. Levi Hutchins created the first mechanical alarm clock in 1787, but it could only go off at 4 in the morning. The first wind-up alarm clock that could be set for any time wasn't created until 1876. 24. Computer Security Day is celebrated on November 30th. It was established in 1988 to promote awareness of problems with computer security. Check your Facebook privacy settings and update your passwords to something stronger to commemorate Computer Security Day, which is both simple and necessary. You may also check the security of the data you store on your phone or on the cloud by reading the most recent technological facts. This infographic on the importance of having a secure password may be of interest to you as well. 25. The government used PlayStation 3s, but not for gaming. In 2010, the U.S. Air Force constructed a supercomputer for the Department of Defense out of 1,760 PlayStation 3 consoles. They used PS3s since they were more affordable and environmentally friendly.